I've read The Alchemist 3 times, but only recently on my fourth try. A few months ago, I actually got the true meaning. We're often taught that the journey to our personal legend or our true destiny has to be a battle. That if you don't suffer through it, then you're not going to be successful or you're not going to achieve what you want. For a long time, I believed that. I thought that I have to be in a high pressure environment, I have to constantly push myself in order to actually be successful. So I spent 4 years in Korea trying to build a version of myself that would look ideal on paper. I had the marketing degree, experience, I participated in a lot of competitions and startups, but when graduation finally arrived, I had no idea what to do or where to go. Guys, I'm literally getting so emotional about this fucking thesis because it's like the last thing, my last thing I will submit, and I'll be done like forever. I was scared, confused. I had no idea where should I go. Should I stay in Korea? Should I go back home? Up until August, I couldn't decide, and it was a week or two until I had to reapply for my visa if I want to stay, or I should buy a ticket back home. So I left Korea, but not because I had a better plan in Kyrgyzstan, but just because I was literally paralyzed and had no idea what to do next. Being back home after so many years abroad is a very specific kind of feeling. The people around you remember a version of you that doesn't exist anymore. I became fully independent in another country. I navigated through everything, through all the documents, immigration, learning a new language, being around new people. So I'm a completely new person. But I came back to the people who don't know me, basically, and I don't know them. And the country itself also felt almost foreign to me because everything changed. The job market, there's so many new organizations and companies that I have no idea about. So me thinking that it will be easier to find something here because I'm more familiar, that was a very wrong idea. So now I'm 22 with an international degree, knowing several languages, have experience, but I have no idea what to do next. So when I came back, I took the first job that I was offered. The job wasn't even in marketing, but I thought that I have to start somewhere, and if I wait longer, what if they pull their offer and I don't find anything better? So I just had to stick with it. So I did something that I didn't enjoy. I worked until very late and I completely ruined my health in that 1 month, and I quit after just 1 month. I had to think about it a lot. I wanted to quit already, I think in after 2 weeks, just because of how physically and mentally demanding it was, especially for someone who just graduated and came back to almost a new country because I didn't know anything here. I didn't get used to it. I didn't get used to living in a completely new environment, and now I was also working in a place where I didn't enjoy anything. But I was terrified at the thought that I'm gonna disappoint everyone, that I'm gonna disappoint my family, or feel like I will fall even more behind. But now I had a new challenge. I already knew that I shouldn't just take any offer that comes my way just because I'm scared to be left behind, because it can end up the same way. I'm not gonna enjoy what I'm doing, and I'll just waste time on something like that. So I decided to approach this more responsibly this time, but I felt immense pressure to find something fast because I barely made any money from my last job, and I felt like everyone was expecting me to make crazy amounts of money after graduating from a foreign university, which I think a lot of people who graduated from a bigger university or from a university abroad, they face this challenge that people expect them to land a very cool job in Google or Facebook or whatever right after graduating. But obviously in this current job market, that is not true. So I realized that I was overeducated but underqualified or underprepared for the life that I was actually living. But I was even more terrified at the thought that me deciding to come back home was me moving backward, and even more scared that my parents, my family, or people around me would also think that way. So then things started to change, but not because I figured out a perfect plan, but because I just decided to start taking the opportunities that came my way. I specifically knew that I wanted to work in marketing, and there were very few positions that would take anyone with little to no experience. One of the options was an IT startup where they were looking for a junior marketing specialist, a product specialist. I just came to the interview. I really liked the vibe. I liked the office. Something in me at the moment told me to take this opportunity. Even though I know nothing about IT, I was always dreaming of working in fashion or beauty marketing. But I felt like it was the right decision. And it's not like I had a lot of options. So that was my first marketing job. And honestly, that's where my growth, not only in my career, but just as a person, started. Honestly, I learned a lot from my few months of work there. I learned a lot about marketing itself. I learned about social media management. Also, I think one of the most important things is I grew my network a lot from my work there, because even though it's a startup, it's a pretty known company here, especially within the IT industry. So I am forever grateful that I worked there. So around the same time I started working in the company, my friend sent me a link to a mentorship program called Girls for Girls Creative Edition. I had no idea what it is, but I trusted her. She said that it's a cool program, but she is abroad, as my most friends, because they are still studying or they stayed there. But I was a little scared that I may not get chosen or I'm not creative enough for this. But at the end of the day, I had nothing to lose, so I decided to apply. And it's one of the reasons why I'm actually making this video. So as you can tell, I did get chosen, and it's been almost 3 months since the mentorship program started, and I have the best mentor. I learned so much, and I feel like I grew so much, not just as a professional, as a specialist, but also just as a person in the span of these 3 months. So I didn't plan for any of this. I didn't plan on working in IT or tech. I didn't plan on joining any mentorship programs, but I was just moving in the direction that my life was pushing me towards. And now I work in a new company, in an international IT company. It's one of the biggest, probably the biggest IT one in Kyrgyzstan. And I'm finding opportunities that I never thought I would. And as of now, this tech industry is actually where I'm finding myself the best at. In my most favorite show ever, Avatar: The Legend of Aang, air nomads have a philosophy, and it really resonates with me. Because air is an element of freedom. To truly master it, you have to be able to detach yourself from worries, to detach yourself from everything that keeps you bound, and find the path of least resistance, because air doesn't fight the obstacles but just flows around it. So that's what my project Bending Thoughts actually means to me. It came from this philosophy of bending the elements, and I realized that me coming back home wasn't a retreat or me falling behind. It was just a redirection. I stopped fighting the current of my life, where my life is taking me, and just take the opportunities that come my way. After all, what do you get from worrying all the time and not knowing what to do next? I think that's the beautiful thing for us, because we're still figuring ourselves out and finding our own path. And this is a time when else, if not now, we're going to try and fail until we finally find our own path in this life. And this is also the time where no one's going to judge you, because people our age, they're all going through the same thing, and people who are older, they already went through it, and they know that in order for you to achieve big things, you have to try and do something. So while we're finding ourselves, might as well enjoy it and not ruin your mental health by stressing too much, and just enjoy the journey. What you carry, your voice, your creativity, your skills, they aren't tied to a specific job, to a dream career, or to a specific field. This is something that you bring. This is your own value. So might as well try a lot of things until you find something that you enjoy the most. This is a pilot for a series of videos about identity and just figuring myself out. And if you feel stuck, trust me, you're not. Everyone has their own timing, their own journey. My name is Sadat, and I'm also figuring it out, and I think that's the best part. Tune in for more, and thanks for watching.